Bethesda just announced a brand new Indiana Jones game. Hold on to your potatoes, Indiana Jones fans, because the most truant professor in Marshall College history is returning for his first video game in a decade. On Monday, Lucasfilm announced the creation/revival of Lucasfilm Games as their new all-encompassing gaming brand. But if you thought that meant we'd just be getting all Star Wars all the time, well, think again. Because on Tuesday, we learned that Lucasfilm Games' first project out of the gate will seemingly be a brand new Indiana Jones game made by Bethesda and Machine Games. Now, this game will be published by Bethesda, best known for sprawling open-world series like Fallout and The Elder Scrolls, and executive produced by Todd Howard, who led development on both of those iconic series. But the real kicker here is Machine Games' involvement. This Swedish studio is behind the recent entries in the Wolfenstein series, which means they are the perfect match for a known Nazi puncher like Indiana Jones. So what do we know about this game so far?
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
No, Indiana, not a next-gen version of Snake, although that would be a pretty awesome minigame. Actually, we don't know a whole lot about what the game will ultimately entail, apart from some clues that we can glean from the short teaser trailer that Bethesda also shared. So this 33-second video slowly pans across Indy's desk, revealing all manner of books about myth and ancient antiquity, including one apparently written by Todd Howard about ancient circles. There's also a passport, a plane ticket to Rome dated October 1937, and a map of the Vatican in the Sistine Chapel. There's also a typewriter with a halfway finished letter, photographs of ancient ruins, and of course Indy's trusty whip and his iconic hat. Now this can only mean one thing: Indy is going to steal the Pope's hat because he can hide more rare antiquities beneath a mitre than underneath his fedora. Now, chronologically, this places the adventure between Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade. That means Indy had an extremely busy, extremely stressful couple of years there, just chock-a-block with Nazis. But considering the state of geopolitical affairs during this time period, well, maybe this is yet another reason why Germany eventually declares war on the Jones Boys. Now, for anyone who knows their gaming history, this is actually the perfect project for the newly minted version of Lucasfilm Games. Originally founded in May 1983 as Lucasfilm Games, George Lucas's gaming division soon morphed into LucasArts in the 1990s, and they became one of the greatest, most prolific producers of point-and-click adventure games of all time. One of their biggest hits, 1992's Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis, which pit everyone's favorite archaeologist against Nazis in a race to discover the sunken city of Atlantis. Now, honestly, any game where you get to dunk on Nazis is already great in my book, but if you get to be Indiana Jones, that is at least a ×2 multiplier. Now, on Twitter, Bethesda clarified the game will have an original story, but it'll be some time before we have more to reveal. The biggest question, though, is whether or not this game will be PC and Xbox exclusive, because back in September 2020, Microsoft purchased Bethesda for $7.5 billion, bringing them to the sprawling family of Microsoft-owned first-party developers. Now, ever since, gamers have wondered if they'll still be able to play and purchase their favorite Bethesda games on PlayStation and Switch moving forward. Now, according to IGN, in November 2020, Xbox CFO Tim Stewart clarified Microsoft's position on the matter at the Jefferies Interactive Entertainment Virtual Conference. What we'll do in the long run is we don't have intentions of just pulling all of Bethesda content out of Sony or Nintendo or otherwise, but what we want is that content in the long run to be either first or better or best, or pick your differentiated experience on our platforms. We will want Bethesda content to show up the best as on our platforms, which is a lot of business jargon, to be perfectly honest. We'll have to keep biding our time to see what that actually means for Xbox and PC users, maybe like timed exclusivity or platform-specific features. But for now, it's just nice to have more Indiana Jones to look forward to, especially considering the last Indiana Jones game was the 2011 now-defunct Indiana Jones Adventure World, a Facebook game from Zynga, the folks who brought you Farmville.
It's worthless.
Now, thankfully, this isn't the only new Indiana Jones in our future, because during the Disney Investor Day presentation, Lucasfilm head honcho Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that Logan director James Mangold will write and direct the untitled Indiana Jones 5, which will bring back Harrison Ford in the title role in July 2022. And while Harrison Ford finally got his wish to kill off Han Solo in Star Wars Episode 7 The Force Awakens, something tells me that Indy won't befall the same fate. But if anyone can give a beloved character an appropriate swan song, it's James Mangold, considering what he was able to do with Wolverine in Logan. What a fantastic film. Anyway, we'll keep you updated on all things Indiana Jones over on Nerdist.com as we learn more, but in the meantime, tell us, what do you think of this news? What do you want to see from Indiana Jones the game, and what do you think will happen in Indiana Jones 5?
Nazis. I hate these guys.
Let's discuss in the comments below, and for the latest and greatest in the world of pop culture, stay tuned to Nerdist.com.